Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Here's another week of season 10, episode 7 of Married at First Sight. And we are back home in DC. It's been a long time. Seems like we've been doing this for a month and we just now got back from the honeymoon. So, yeah. It was pretty basic. I mean, the couples are just kind of moving into their new little spots. They all got them in the same apartment complex. So, you know, this is the I think they started this a couple seasons ago. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of good because they kind of can have each other to lean on, but also it's not real. It doesn't make it as real as it could be. But yeah, we'll see how this pans out. But anyway, I'm going to talk about the first couple, and the first couple I'll talk about, as usual, is Jessica and Austin. Just because they're doing well, they have less drama. I mean, of course, we don't know. It's just starting. They just got back, so we'll see what may happen with their relationship. But right now, they seem to have the least issues. Jessica and Austin, like I said, they're moving into their new place. Then they go and to each one another's apartments to pack up, to bring some stuff of theirs to their new apartment. They first go to Austin's apartment, and he seems to be living pretty minimal, pretty basic. He has basic needs. He doesn't. I guess I remember his mom. They were teasing, saying, you're gonna have to clean up after him. So I think Jessica was kind of ready to see a hot mess, and it wasn't so bad, but it wasn't, of course, tidy as I'm sure she would have liked. But she goes around and she's nitpicking at everything. Oh, why you didn't make your bed? You don't have a sheet. I guess he kind of just sleeps with a bottom sheet and a comforter. And she's like, how often do you wash your comforter? And he's like, I wash it. I don't know. I don't have a time frame. And meaning he probably hardly ever does, unless there's a spot or something he wastes on it. But he gathers his things and they head on out. They go to her apartment and she basically can't decide what she wants, so she tries to bring her whole house. I don't see anything wrong with that. I'll probably would do the same thing when I pack. I probably overpack for trips. That's pretty much what we do. I mean, you never know what you might need. You don't know what the weather may be. You never know what may come up. I don't blame her. So yeah, I mean, she tried to bring all of her clothes, variety of things. And she had like a watermelon sitting on in the dining room, I guess. And she was like, I'm gonna bring the watermelon. He's like, no, leave the watermelon. She was like, no, I'm gonna bring the watermelon. And he's like, no, leave the watermelon. She grabbed the watermelon. I mean, all in all, why would you leave it? It's gonna get all like rotten. So let's eat that watermelon. That's wasting money as far as I'm concerned. So why wouldn't you bring the watermelon? I don't blame her. They both meet up with Pastor Kyle back at their new place, and he's kind of just going over how things since the honeymoon, basically kind of letting them know, or asking them if they talked about finances, and they said yeah. And within that conversation, they found out that he makes less than what she makes, but he has potential to build upon that. So she was completely fine with that. She said, as long as he is going to level up, you know, ongoing, then that's fine. I can work with that. So, they seem to be able to agree with that. Pastor Kyle kind of slips in, how's, their sex life. And they're like, oh, we're fine. Everything's good. Everything's good. Which, I mean, is great. They don't need to talk about it. They're not giving details. They're like, look, we're doing fine over here. We don't need. And if they decided not to talk about that, I think that's great that they both are taking that, and they are, I mean, that just shows that that's going to be a positive in their relationship, that they keep that communication within their marriage. So, so that's them. That's Jessica and Austin, and like I said, they're doing great so far, and we'll see how it progresses. So, the next couple that we'll talk about is Mika and Michael. Mika and Michael, they go and they tour their little new place that they're getting. Then they head over to Michael's first. No, I'm sorry, Mika's first, I believe. And he's kind of going around like opening drawers and kind of saying, there's so much stuff. There's just so much stuff. She's just like, it's my house. And then she kind of gets annoyed because he's opening cabinets and opening drawers. And I don't think he's meaning to like snoop. I think he's just one of those people who just can't help himself and just wants to go looking and looking. But he just can't believe how much stuff she has in her cabinets. And I'm like, it's just normal life, I would think. You have stuff in your kitchen cabinets. You have stuff in your drawers. And she's just like, yeah, this is what I have here. This is what I have here. This is what I have here. Anything else? She's just so tough with him. I mean, I think that's her personality, but I don't know. I mean, I guess he's taking it well, but he seems to have patience. But I think there's only but so much he will take before he breaks down and kind of blows up. Or I don't know. She better watch it. I don't know. I think she just kind of wants it. It seems like maybe she wants to kind of take control or let him know I'm not the one to be played with, or, this is how I am. So if, some people like to kind of throw all of their energy at someone to see if they'll budge or if they'll leave, or can you take it? I don't know. I don't know what her angle is, but yeah, but anyway, they go over to Michael's house, and Michael lives very basic. I don't even think he had a headboard on his bed. Like, she opened up cabinets in his kitchen and there was like barely anything there. And she kind of like looked at him crazy because he had like a frying pan on the stove with the spatula still in it, just sitting there. And she said, why wouldn't you put this away? He's like, because I'm going to need it. I'm going to use it. I use it pretty frequently, so I'm going to use it. He said, but after you finish, don't you put it away? And he's like, no, I just leave it there. I'm going to need it, so why would I put it away? Boy, they're going to be some arguing people. There is just no, I mean, unless he lets her take control, they're going to be arguing. So I don't know. They go back to their newer place, and Pastor Kyle meets up with them. They're kind of, letting him know, they're still working on things. It was kind of tough during the honeymoon, but they got through it, and they're just trying to see where this will take them. And they talked about Pastor Kyle asked them, did they talk about having kids? And they said, yeah, we talked about it. We said at least 3. And Michael kind of says that he wants to have two naturally, but would like to adopt one. And Mika says she's open to that and wouldn't mind looking into that also. Because he was adopted, and he would, wants to offer that to, children in America, because it's definitely needed. So that's very awesome of him. The topic of the whole airplane issue came up, and Mika kind of says, I don't fully trust him because he won't admit to what he said. He won't admit to what he said on the airplane, and I know he said it, and he just continues to say he never said it. And Pastor Kyle's like, well, did you say it, Michael? And he said, no, I didn't say it. That's not what I said. And Pastor Kyle asked him again, you didn't say it, man? He said, no, I did not say that. And he just starts breaking down, and he literally has tears coming down his face. I mean, all these people have things going on mentally. They needed to go see They need to go see a psychiatrist before they had this experiment. Yeah, that's what they needed to do. Yeah, psych evaluation. I don't know if they did, but yeah, that's what. All right, not sure what happened. My camera kind of died on me. So anyway, like I said, he was boohooing, and I guess he kind of gave some explanation about how he, never really had intimacy, being that he didn't have his mother, and he didn't really have that, connection with anyone, and he just, I guess, is really yearning for that. And I guess that was one of the reasons why he brought that up so soon. And I think he kind of was trying to dance around it, but he just would not admit that he said that to her. So I'm not even sure, how he said it, what he said. I wish we could have had a camera on that airplane so we could, know exactly what was said. But it's only, between them and God at this point. So she's going to either have to leave or get over it. But yeah, he did break down, and she kind of, gave in and gave him a hug and said, please don't cry, took care of him and everything. So that was good. And I don't know. I still don't really see any sparks with them. I don't know how that's even going to work, to be honest. But, I guess they're trying to really make it work. But I don't think so. Anyway, that was Mika and Michael. The next couple I'll talk about is Mindy and Zach. Poor Mindy. I mean, she gets back to DC, and you see her. She's sitting with her friend. They're at the place that she is to share with Zach. And she's sitting with her friend, having, eating and drinking wine, and just kind of letting her know what was going on the honeymoon. And, the friend was like, was he this? Was he that? And she said, we kissed once, but he just always, the whole time, he was just letting me know that he was not attracted to me. And she was like, what an ass. I don't know exactly the word she used, but basically, like, why? Why would someone do that to someone? And she just let her know that you are a beautiful person inside and out, and you don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. And Mindy was kind of giving excuses and saying she still wants to work on it, and I guess she still feels like she has hope. And her friend is just like girl, I don't know why. Because he don't deserve you. And I'm so glad that she has such a good support system, her friends and her sister. And because so basically Zach says he didn't want to come back to the house with her. He wanted to go back to his own home. And that's what he decided. So they sit down with Pastor Cal later on, and he sits down with Zach, and he's, trying to get out of him, what's his feelings, what's his thoughts, what does he want? And so of course Zach goes into his 15-minute speech about one question, like it's either a yes or no, man, or do you want to be with her or not? But yeah, he just, I just want to feel this and I want to feel that, and I think all the boxes, the boxes are checked. She's beautiful, she's pretty, she's smart, she's social, and that's all the things that I've asked for, but it's just, it ain't doing it for me. And it basically boils down to, if he seen her on the street, he wouldn't look her way. Like, she's, a sweet lady that he would, say hi and keep it pushing. Like, he's just not feeling her like that. And I mean, you can't blame him. I mean, you can't not blame him. You can't force him to, like her. You can't. It's just, it is what it is. If it ain't doing it for him, it ain't doing it for him. What are you going to do? But I think he needs to be truthful and honest. So it comes to now as to, why are you even here? Because you could just leave now. Why lead her on? You don't like her like that. And so they all three sit down, Pastor Cal, Mindy, and Zach. And they're, he's asking them questions, and Zach's just like, Mindy starts, and she's like, well, you hurt my feelings because you repeatedly said you're not attracted to me. And it just, I just, each time I heard that, it was just, it hurt my feelings. And he was like, I do understand. And I was trying to figure out a way to, be honest, because you were, basically she was asking him over and over again, what do you want? What, trying to get answers. But I mean, that's what you do. You're trying to get to know someone, and he's just kind of like, So I mean, I probably would have did the same thing in so many ways. But as soon as someone told me they're not attracted to me, I would have just been like, well, let's just go enjoy this trip and get on out of here. Because I don't know what else. There's nothing else to say. So he says he's sorry that he had, he understands now that was insensitive to continuously say. They, she's like, okay, and he's like, I do want to work on this, but I just want to take it slow. And Pastor Cal is like, well, I understand you don't want to stay here, but I think that it would be a better, option for you to stay at the house with her so you can work on the marriage if that's what you want to do. And he's just, there are 2 bedrooms. And that's what I would think, okay, I understand you don't want to, maybe even share a bed and you want to take it slow. But if there's 2 bedrooms, I think if you join this experiment, the least you can do is stay there in the other bedroom. The least you could do. And he just said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I want to be able to miss her. And I want to, be able to, I want to know how it feels, to see if I want to talk to her or text her or things like that. And I want to feel that. And Pastor Carl's like, well, I understand the whole element of, the absence makes the heart grow fonder, but come on, man. Uh, yeah, he's a piece of work. I just, mm-mm, mm-mm. Nope. I don't understand. He just wants the money. There's that sum of money that they get at the end of this. I don't know how long they have to stay to get it, or what they have to do to get it, but I believe that it's that and the fact that, it'll grow his little Instagram following, or people will see him. People will see him for his modeling career. All of that. All of that. I just can't believe that they're even allowing this. Because, I mean, once he said that, then they should have just said, well, you know what? If you're not trying, man, then there's no reason to let this young lady just sit and wait on you. And then she should get all the money. How about that? Anyway, that was them. Pastor Kyle said that they can't force him to stay in the same house. So we're going to see how this even works. I don't even understand. I've never seen this happen before on any of the seasons. So not sure how this is going to work. So that was Zach and Mindy. All right, so the next couple I will talk about is Derek and Katie. Derek and Katie, they go to Derek's house first. Derek shares like a single family home with, I guess, two roommates, I believe, or a couple of roommates. He has his own little room. Kind of looks like he's living in, like his parents' house, and he has his room. But, it's set up pretty decent. And Katie's kind of going around and looking in drawers. And she's like, oh, I'm kind of scared of looking at all these drawers. He's like, go ahead. So she opens the one drawer next to his nightstand drawer. And he has like all these, like a bundle of money, 20 sitting in there. And this gun. And she's like, whoo. She was a little taken back, and so was I. He said that it was not a real gun. It was just for show, or just in case maybe someone came in, and so he decided to keep a fake gun. Now the world knows, but whatever. But yeah, he says he just keeps it for protection, or just a little something. It did look really real. It did look really real. Really real. So yeah. They gathered some of his stuff. She took some of his belongings off the wall and things so they can have in their new little place, and that was about it. They go to Katie's house, and they're met by her dog, and he's all excited, and Katie seems to be really organized and tidy. They gather all her stuff. He kind of goes to her little drawers, and she's like, yeah, here's, basic stuff, underwear drawer, pajama drawer. And, that was pretty much it with them. They meet up back with Pastor Kyle back at the new place. And he asked them, have they talked about finances? They said, yeah, everything's good with that. They asked him, how's things going since the honeymoon and things like that. And they both had the same answer, that, things are kind of getting stagnant. They're not, in that honeymoon, I want to jump your bones stage at the moment. They're just kind of, and I'm like, dang, it's only been a week. apparently, you know, they just kind of died down, and they, you know. All right. So they, you know, started talking about how, like I said, that the relationship is just kind of at a mild moment at the moment. So they talk about how Derek is basically kind of let her know that, you know, it's going to take some time. I just want to take it slow. That, you know, it really isn't something that I don't think I would fall in love right away. It probably take me at least a good 6 months to a year, I would think. And, you know, Pastor Kyle kind of, you know, brings his spiel about how, you know, you don't fall in love, you grow in love, and, you know, it's something that, you know, I know you've never been in love before, so, you know, this is something new, so, you know, keep your mind open. And he's like, okay. Then Katie brings up, you know, I had a situation before this all started. I, you know, had an ex-boyfriend who contacted me, and I was waiting for him to tell me he loved me and want to marry me. And then all of a sudden, when I'm about to embark on this journey, he comes up and says, well, I do love you and I want you back and I want this. And, you know I can't, you know, be with him, but, you know, I just left that alone. And Pastor Kyle's like, well, you know, are you done with that situation? She's like, well, yeah, I've just put it away. I've just made myself put it away. She said, he said, well, then you're not done with it. You know, no, you're not done with it. If you're making yourself do it, if you're done, you're done. If you're making yourself do it, then you still got some feelings. And that is not cool. And they should not let that girl get married to that man knowing that she has feelings for somebody else. It's not cool. So Derek's kind of taken back like, oh my God, this is some bull. And, you know, I don't want to be competing with someone else. And, you know, she's like, no, you know, they kind of end the day. Basically, she's like, you know, we have no contact. You don't have to worry about that. And he's like, okay, well, we're going to work on this. And, you know, so we'll see how that works out. I don't know. I hope this man don't come out the blue or come out the woodwork and, oh, goodness. Yeah, y'all don't have no contact, but I'm sure if y'all were together, he knows where you roam and can get to you if he wants to. So, I don't know. That's just pretty bad. But anyway, we shall see what their journey is like going forward. So anyway, the last couple that we'll talk about is Mr. Brandon and Taylor. Taylor we see her, she is in the new apartment. She's by herself. He did not come after they, you know, got off the flights and into DC. And she's kind of, you know, they show her just kind of talking like, I don't know what's his problem. It's just, I packed all his things. And, you know, they show her talking to Pastor Cal, letting him know what happened and how he was, you know, very disrespectful to her, disrespectful to the staff or the crew, cussing everybody out on the bus. And he was just outright crazy. And Pastor Cal was like, what? Even like he didn't know. But yeah, she explains that to him. And then while they're talking, Branda's butt walks in with this plant. Look like some tulips for Easter or something. And he's like, I just want to, you know, give this to you to show you, you know, I just want to say I'm sorry. And So he sits down and, Taylor leaves and he talks to Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal's like, what's going on, man? Like Pastor Cal tried to start off all tough in the beginning, but, Brandon goes on with his bull and says, oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't, I know I messed up and I take full accountability and blah, 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 blah. And, Pastor Kyle's like, well, I'm glad he took full accountability and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are we really going to just let this happen? Like, are you serious? This is what we're going to let happen? Like, this man is crazy. You going to let this woman be in this house with this man? I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I think he's got something wrong. 1 minute he okay, the next minute he ain't. What you call that? Yeah, no, I don't see this ending well. I think he got issues, and because I get you didn't want the cameras around, but there was just no way. And he says, well, I just need someone that's not going to just up and leave whenever the going gets tough, basically. And I need someone to be there for Brandon. And Pastor Kyle's like, well, it ain't all about you. He was like, well, Team Reeds or whatever, his last name. Okay. But y'all just met and you're acting like an ass, basically. So, yeah, I don't get it. So Taylor sits down with them and they all three sit down and Taylor lets him know, listen, if you're going to be this way, if you're going to disrespect me, disrespect the staff and be this person, I don't want to be with you. I do not want to be with that person. And Brandon's like, I understand and I get it. I can't say sorry enough. At first I thought he said, I said sorry enough. I was about to be like, what? But he said, I can't say sorry enough. I had to rewind that. And Taylor's like, okay, I guess we'll try to work on it or whatever. And I think I don't even know what her mindset is. I'm sure at this point she's like, well, I didn't already did it now, so I might as well follow through. But I'm sure it's hard to even allow him to be in her same space, honestly. After that we see Taylor go to his apartment and help him pack, and he's, they're being, funny and seem to be okay, but that's how they were before. So it's just a matter of seconds before he snaps again. So yeah, I'm sure in every episode I feel like he's going to have an issue. He just seems like that type of person. He just is not happy with it. He's got to have an issue with something. So, but anyway, that's pretty much it for episode 7. It basically was them moving into their new places and kind of recapping the honeymoon and digesting that basically we're married and what do we do now? So I guess going forward, we're going to see what they're going to be doing. What direction they shall go. But I thank you so much for clicking and joining me this evening. If you've watched to the end, I thank you so much. Please like and share. Comment below what you think and your thoughts. Please join me again next week for episode 8. And I do appreciate your subscription. So if you please just click that subscription button and the bell to be notified. I definitely plan to put out more wonderful content. And I thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.